Okay, well, we're gonna start working with this. Boy, I tell you, this door is kind of rough, but we're gonna see. It's pretty rough looking in here. It's not holes all the way through it, but I don't know. We're gonna roll with what we got right now. I'm definitely somewhat concerned in here, but I don't know. I really don't want to replace the door. I'll replace the door. I will, but I can tell you, I'm going to do everything to in fact, this door is absolutely going to go back on first. I can replace doors in years from now, even if this one's not perfect, and even if I can't clean all this up right, it's still going to get cleaned up, and it's going to be the door that gets installed. So we're going to start this process and see what we're working with. I've kind of somewhat prepped a little stuff right now. We'll see what we get. Oh, trying to get the door stops out. That little screw right in there. Ooh, that head is eat up, but I did get it moving. A little knocker loose and a couple of prayers. Holy crap, that was scary about not being able to get that out. Okay, got that window stop out, sitting right there. Pretty rusty. That's the front one. That's the jam one. But then you can kind of see it in here a little bit. See that little oval clip area there? You see them all the way across here. The problem is that's where the belt line weather stripping goes. Actually, there's a little clip right there. It's still left. I got to pop it out. But it's dead. It's all rusted out. So the door is okay, but the clips are rusted, and the belt line just pulled right out. But it left these clips in place. I don't think you can really get this window out without getting that up, because what happens is the bottom of the window gets hung up on that just a little bit. So I got to pop that last one out, and then I should be able to pull this window out, I think. Okay, it's actually the next day, so I did get it out. I got that, and it's sitting over there. The glass, but it's a real pain because you got to get all this stripping out here in bottom. You actually have to take the frame out of the bottom thing. Here's part of the frame to the side, and I got all the guts of this door sitting over here on this one. I was going to, the whole thing was to do this so that I could put a new hinge on, which I got the new latch, which is great. Goes right here. But look, this is the whole problem. I didn't even recognize it when I first started looking at this. Door was never closing right when it was on the car. And this is why, because these are completely gone. A little stress crack right in here. They're just gone. And you look at the differences. See how it's got this indention in there, where it's like a you can see it because of the missing screw right here, but how it's got that dimple in there. Well, it's part of the metal, and it stress cracks around that hole. You get a little bit of rust, and so it makes it weak. And so these are completely gone. Well, so I can't put a latch on. I've now found out that there's a plate that comes on the back side to replace this, and they say you only have to weld it, but I'm probably just gonna, spot weld around here and replace this area with this a plate. It definitely makes an offset when the latch goes in. It's going to, this latch is coming through the hole. It's going to be in the thickness of that metal, whatever, a millimeter or whatever it is. I don't know what gauge metal that is, but so I just ordered it. But so that's coming in. I start screwing around with this a little bit. I got this rust up in here. Like I said, it's actually solid. It's scaling. It's not. I can't call it surface. That's more surface rust. This is definitely some scaling, but it's going to be good enough. And I was screwing around with it more just with a wire wheel. I took the old tap and die set. Oh, Craftsman tap and die set. My dad gave it to me. It was my grandpa's. So this old Craftsman stuff actually works pretty well. But I chased these threads out on these bolts and knocked off some of the rust so I can get the hinges back on. The next big thing was the hinges. So like I said, I'm doing all this, not to rebuild doors. I'm doing all this to be able to check body lines. I want to stick the doors on, stick the trunk lid back on. I'm probably not going to put the hood on there because that just doesn't make sense. But I want to put it back on, just hang there and look and make sure it looks okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just need it to be close. But I was like, well, these hinges don't have crazy amount of play in them. In fact, that one's pretty good. I'm tempted to not even screw around with that one right now. This one, look how floppity-doppity that spring is. While the hinge itself is not bad, I might just try to take, just for the sake of time, I've got a bolt kit for both sides. The driver's side was worse. It was way worse. But this one, I don't know, I might not actually do anything with this because just kind of grease it up, make it work a little bit. I'll say, the goal is just to hang the door and look at it, pull it back off. The doors are actually a bigger project for later. But this one, these hinges, I don't know, you can kind of, it's hard to show it on camera, but there's some wiggle, you know, here. And it's because of these bushings that are in here with this pin. So I've got this rebuild kit. But here's the interesting thing. You got this arm, and this arm comes out and it's spring loaded and it holds it right there. It's like, I've got the door open, you know, and then when you push the door, it pushes shut. But you got a couple different spots where it's supposed to grab. Like I said, really weak spring there. I mean, you look at that spring I can do with my finger, right? Super simple versus this one, the new one that comes with it. I mean, I can't hardly squeeze as hard as I can, you know, and I'm not hardly getting any flex. That's actually going to be a pain in the butt to get in place. This one's just completely dead, man. I mean, it's really, really simple. Look, I can pull it back with one finger. Super simple. But this plate here, I mean, this little bushing piece here is actually supposed to roll around. It's kind of seized on. But see how this sticks up? It grabs hold of that arm. Wow. Here's mine. And it was flush. It had been broken off. So I'm taking my handy dandy super cheap Harbor Freight drill bit set here. Started off with 1/8 of an inch hole and just progressively worked up. I got it pretty well clean in there now. I maybe got to do a little bit more, but I've drilled it out. It's not easy to drill this out, essentially. This is what I got to drill out because that's the part that goes in, or actually, I'm sorry, it's this one right here. So it stops in right there because you have this bushing. So that's that same bushing that's over there on the top. And so this now comes up into right here. And I think I'm okay. It's a little bit wobbly right there, but that's just where it gets started. I probably do wallow the bit some, but I think I'm you know, obviously worried about trying to press it in to make sure I do have enough meat out, because either it does or it doesn't, you know. So I got to make sure on that, but I just pushes in and then that'll be right. So I'm pretty close on that. That was actually a project, just drilling that out. Should I replace the hinge? Probably, but again, I have original hinges here, and I've heard that reproduction hinges are good, but they can be problematic getting them to work. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll do the work with the rebuild kit and new bushing, the whole 9 yards. So I just got me a new vise today because that's going to be helpful. Beating these pins out, you know, you can beat it up from the other side. I'm actually thinking about maybe I can get it into the press somehow and start pushing them out rather than trying to beat them out. But if not, you know, put it into the vise, hold it in there, take a drift, and beat this pin out, and hopefully can get it out. Get the new ones in, and I can reinstall these again temporarily just to get the door hanging. It'll just push shut. It's obviously not going to latch until my new plates come in and stuff like that, but not worried about that. I just want to hang the door. I'm not even trying to like get the door perfect because I've taken the glass out now, and so it's a lot of the weight is gone. So it wouldn't adjust and install perfect anyways, but it'll be good for checking out the body line. That's the goal. So I'll bring it back when I got something else cooler to show on these hinge pins, I guess. So here's the crazy setup. I've kind of put it back in place just to show for video, but I've got a socket putting in this vise and just a Milwaukee bit to use as a pin, a drift, if you will. And I got it most of the way out now, pressing this bolt out. So you see these ribs in there. So now I'm going to come in here with a little deeper socket like so, and I'll just beat it out. Time to beat it into submission. But that works. I just sat down in front of my fan because it's so freaking hot. It's summertime, you know, and it's like, I haven't mounted this vise yet. I'll just sit here on the floor and do it. And I can sit in front of the fan. That's a questionable setup. We'll see, because I have to really put some force on this thing. These pins do not come out easy. Yep, had to break this bad boy out. So I'm holding it with a glove right now, but you can see I've got just a little bit of that bolt head coming out. You see the steam coming off. I'm sitting there doing that. Spraying me some PV blaster up in there. Letting it get down in there. It doesn't do you any good to spray it in here because you got bushings, all that stuff, so I'm really trying to get it here, get it down in there. I mean, it's already, you know, it's a press fit, so it's gonna be tight, right? But I'm sure tight along with rust is making that near impossible. I'll tell you what I'm using too, is I'm using the pin on the backside rather than the bit. Because this is just a little smaller diameter of this little one that came out. So enough to get it going anyways, and you know, setting it up in there, pushing the pin there, getting the socket's not too hot. Using a 14 millimeter. It's just big enough to be bigger than the head, but not be too big. And I put that in between on the press and just, you know, I'm sitting here on the press beating this hammer. So I don't know. I guess I'm getting it because I do see an opening there. So I'll do it a little bit, you know, pull it back apart, put a little more stuff in there. It's sucking down in there. So hopefully that's going to do something. We'll see. I had this thing all chalked up with my freaking socket and my little makeshift drift pin and all that stuff. And it's like, God, I had so much pressure on it. I mean, so much. I was like, I can't even turn this handle. I can't beat this handle anymore. And so I sat there and just started heating it up again. And that had, you know, just holding pressure. And it just popped. Scared me to death. Made me about to jump out my pants. But look at that thing. Popped it pretty good. So I think I could probably definitely beat it now. I got my longer socket over here for those purposes. But I'm getting there. Almost got it. Wow, look at that. I was sitting there, even longer. I get it out more. I almost got it. Deep well socket, so I can put it in there. So I do that setup, and then I come in here with just a bit, square head bit, something longer, because I can't find a freaking actual tool to punch. I never have the right tools. But man, I mean, I know it's a weak spot in this bit, but Lord have mercy, look at the bending now. It's crazy. I thought this might be the case. Look at this pin. I finally got it out. Like, you can, if you see it, you can. Look at it, roll it. I don't know if you can see it when I roll it. I can't really see it, but anyways, this thing, it's all bent up and bent out of shape. That's why it wasn't coming straight out. It was so freaking difficult, but I got it. Long socket, short sockets, a freaking 1/4-inch extension to use as a drift pin. Actually worked really well, so not a problem with that, but I got it. So now I can clean this thing up and rebuild this. And I got to get the bushings out still, because there's still, the bushings should be up in here. So I got to figure out how to get that out. Maybe, part of the bushing already came out, see it? Yeah, I already got part of the bushing out, I think, or maybe it's just a top of it. I don't know. Oh yeah, no, here it is. Look, bushing already coming out, so that's good. So I got to get the rest of it out, clean it up, and put it back together. Well, so, you know, I got my vise over here, and I don't have drill presses and stuff, so I have drills that I can stick into a vise sitting on a trash can. That'll work. Anyways, a lot of cleanup. Got it cleaned up pretty good though, you know. Able to get this thing cleaned up and hung it from the garage support there. Well, should be pretty good cleanup. I'm going to come back over here now. Even though there's not a lot of rust on there, I don't really have any other primer. I mean, I got the weld-through primer. I'm not going to use that, but I'm going to still use the rust reformer. I think it'll be fine. I'm going to get that on there just to get some protection on it. I guess I might have somewhere over there some black paint, and we'll see where we get it to look like. But anyways, I think I'm about ready to clean that up, and then we'll put it back together. I don't even think I'm going to worry about the other hinge over there right now. It's such a pain. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go ahead and do it. I need to do it anyway, so maybe I'll get that going and go ahead and just keep this project going and go ahead and do this whole hinge. So both these hinges will at least be rebuilt. I'm definitely not doing those right now, not for hanging door purposes, but maybe I'll go ahead and pull that off and, do the whole thing there so it can look good. And then by the time I get that to the point where it can be on a wire rack, I can start rebuilding this one, and do that way. And we'll start working on this very questionable door at that point. But yeah, we're going to do that. Like I said, I just want to be able to hang it. What's wrong, buddy? You want to play it, don't you? Oh, it looks like so much. You want to meet here? Look. Oh yeah, that looks like fun, don't it? Oh goodness gracious, yeah, that's fun. I know. It's not a toy though. You think it's a toy, but it's not. Oh boy, tell you what. Got this one apart. Got the little bushings out of it and stuff. What a thing, the bushings came out from right in here. So it's a real process. I don't know where the other half of my hinge is, but we're gonna get ready to clean this up and get all this old paint and all this rust, and see how crappy that looks? We're going to then make it look like these. Oh, shiny black. Probably some gloss, rust, oleum. I was going to just do the, just priming it with that, rust reformer. But I was like, no, whatever, man. We'll just go ahead and make it pretty. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty. So look, that's just something done. It's like a cool little project. I'm gonna go the same thing with these bolts. I'm gonna, get all them cleaned up. And I actually ordered a bolt kit today, which is fine. I still want to reuse bolts when I can. It'd be nice to have this master bolt kit for the car. I ordered that. It really wasn't that much, so a couple $100, but it's for what it is. It's all these different bags of, like, here's the bumper bolts, here's this bolt, here's that bolt, here's the hinge bolts, like I've got right here, but still got those. So anyways, that's coming. That'll be here at the end of the week. I can get these hinges done today, maybe hang the doors tomorrow. That'll be the plan. And then I'm pretty much done with it for the week, because gotta go to California, do the thing out there, and come back, and my little part should be in. My plate that goes on the back side to repair this, and I can weld it in place to fix these holes. That'll be in place. That'll be here by the time I get back. And that'll be next week's project to get that on, just to get it done. But then next weekend, this gets installed. This gets installed next weekend. And it's going to be a wonderful thing. Okay, kind of a pain, but whatever. We're down to pretty good clean metal. I don't know. I could probably spend some more time and get that little bit of paint out, but it's smooth. So we're going to let it eat. We're going to take a little wax and grease remover, wipe it down. Going to prime it with the Rust-Oleum rust converter spray, whatever over there. It's just something on there. So prime, because I still got little bits of rust up in there. I'm thinking maybe something on the inside. That's why I used that. Figured it'd be good enough for a primer. Do that. We'll get some more gloss on like we got going on over here. We'll hang another set up. I think I'll set the drill up here and, make my drill press out of this concoction and do my screws, and we'll get some paint going on. It'll be pretty. So here's the difference between a bolt that I've cleaned with my setup here and one that I haven't. I'm just cleaning the threads up real good. I'm going to hit it with the rust converter paint, but then I'll put them up like this, and I'll put the Rust-Oleum pretty paint on the top side. Obviously I won't do it on these threads, but just clean it up real decent, and I think these will be fine. Yeah, I mean, the center, that thing looks brand new. What is it? Sims? I don't know. I'm sure someone else that'll never watch this video knows exactly what this is, but I'm assuming that's a very original bolt. So yeah, whatever. A little bit of rust there. That's kind of crappy looking, but it's good enough for sure. And that'll be pretty on the bolt head itself. All right. I forgot about just kind of looking at the passenger door. The passenger door is actually in better shape, except for this. When I was taking these used to say, oh, I remember it now. Holy crap. This thing broke all of these bolts. 2 bolts broke here. 1 broke here. You know what? 1 is here. I'll be able to get 1 here on the hinge. That's going to have to be good enough for sticking it to a door. Like I said, just want to stick it there. I'm not fighting this door. I'm not doing anything other than I can pick it up now and install it. This one was actually a worse door, and I've worked on it more. And like I said, there's the rust reformers on the bolts, not the rust on it's just just around the threads. But the hinges are looking good. Shiny metal going into this car. Holy moly. Yeah, so whatever, it's done. It looks good, you know. So we're gonna call that project done for the day. We'll quit, and me and Helios, we gotta cut some grass now, don't we? Say, yep, gotta cut grass. He knows how to do that too. He's a very talented puppy. Okay, so starting to try to put these hinges together. I was able to put the bushings right in on this one, so that's good to go. This one, the bushings are being a little bit tighter, but what I'm doing is sliding the pin up in here to use it as a guide, and then I'm just taking a hammer, and I'm not beating it hard and heavy, but sitting there and just getting it started, flip the pin over, use it as a guide, did the same thing on the other side, and then I'm going to now, I'm gonna come up in here and I think go ahead and use this as a press and push it together. So see how that works. Yep, so just should be pretty even pressure doing it like that. Seems like it's working okay. This is one of those God help me if it's wrong deals, because again, this would be in there pretty good. It's pretty close. See if I can get a little more. Come back. Yeah, that looks pretty good, you know. So we should be able to stick a pin in here now. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can put a hinge together now. So I'm looking at this thing. They go together like this, but man, look at that. It is really, really tight. So I'm going to have to try to just get ever so slightly a little bit more in here, because that's really tight. It's really close, but it's not quite fitting. So I got to see if I press just a little bit more. I feel like I got a little more. Put it on the edge. I really had a good pull here on the edge. So we're gonna pull it off, see if that works. Yeah, I'm just getting it in there now. I'm just getting close. So I think that's right. I got to go hold it up and make sure this is right against the car. I guess I was recording for a long time there, so I don't know. But anyways, got it in there. That's pretty good, and it comes almost to the edge. I scratched up my paint a little bit. Oh well, maybe I'll stick a little piece of paint here on the bottom of it, but should have put something on the edge of the jaw of that, and I didn't do it. But that's cool, right? I mean, that's one rebuilt hinge, and so it goes into the. Of course, this one I'm using this as a reference, you know. So this has got a little angle piece up at the top up there, and it points in at an angle. So imagine the other side, the angle piece will be up, right, on the driver's side, and pointing in. So that's how I referenced to make sure I was putting it back together right. I was going to do it wrong, but Helio said, no, Daddy, do it that way. He was right. I'll tell you what, this guy's quite the Mustang dog. Okay, so we got to kind of figure this one out, but I don't know which way this goes on, but I already know enough that it's not quite fitting, but we know we can make it fit. It might come in the backside a little more, but I'm going to put this in the press now. See if I can push these bushings in a little bit more to get that clearance I need. All right, so my grandfather would say, I put the quietus to that. That's a technical term for big time squishing. So I don't know, hopefully that's enough to be able to get it in here now. So here's the thing. I was starting to put this top pin. So this thing comes, what is it, like this, right? And so this top pin goes in there. Oops. And then this pin goes here, holds that in place. Man, that don't even want to get started. It's really tight. So I was like, let me measure this thing. And so if I measure it, 0.33. And the thing is, if I measure the inside of this, which is hard to do, that's 0.3. I'm sure I can get a little better. Yeah, 0.31. Is that right? I mean, I think it is. It's got to be a press fit. It seems like an awful tight press fit, so I guess I'm going to go for it. But it's scary to do these things. So I took it back apart. I couldn't hold everything in its vise at one time. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and press that upper piece in first. This is the one that I drilled out. So again, you'll see that just lays right up in there. It does stop, but now I got to make a decision. Do I go ahead and go for this? And I think I'll do some measuring on that. But anyways, figure that out. And then I think I'll put this piece in right here separately because I can, I don't know, easier to manipulate this probably up from an edge like this and bring it in. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, I got it. I'll tell you what, you look at it, it moves. See, it's moving. I'm not even, I can barely do it. But I had pressed that in a little too far. But I'll tell you what saved me, because I drilled this thing. Look at it. You can see it. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit of an angle. See how it's not quite square in there? Which doesn't surprise me because this is what I drilled out, But when I realized I'd pushed it and pressed it in to the point that that bushing wasn't turning any, which obviously I don't need a lot of space, but you want it to just turn, right? It's definitely not coming out. But I was able, because it's sitting on an angle, I was able to hit it with a dead blow. And that little bit was enough to get it to move a little bit, and I kept working it. And I think, I honestly just scraped the paint off probably, and now it's moving. So I'm gonna call that good. That was successful. Now we got to get this bad boy into here and then put the whole thing back together. So I need a little bit of help. I actually ground this pin down a little bit more. I mean, it's so tight. So just like I need a little bit more help getting it started. So I've gotten it started, but it was starting kind of going in an angle a little bit. So maybe if I get a little bit more down in there, I can get it started better straight. We'll see. I'll tell you, I kind of see it here. I took this pin before I put it in place, and you see I really didn't grind much. It was really more just the paint off of it. Also took a drill bit, cleaned inside. Move, Helios. Daggone dog. Cleaned the inside, didn't cut anything. I literally knocked a little rust out that's obviously still in there. But I got it started a little bit, so now I just gotta commit. I mean, it's one of them things like, my God, if I can't get it in, I don't know how I'm gonna get it back out. You know what I mean? I guess on this one I would at least be able to push it back out like I did it before, but it's tight. This thing, I mean, there is so much tension on this vise right now. Holy moly. It's going in there, but I probably could have definitely ground a little bit more off. We'll see. Keep going. I'll tell you what, if it ain't right, I'm screwed. I'm gonna get it back out. But I mean, I've got it. I know this is supposed to be loose. The other one is. I feel like it should be tighter than that, but I don't think it gets any tighter because I've got all the serrated edges there. That's gone. That's completely inside now. And it could definitely go in a little deeper. There's the pin, so I guess technically I could get this back out. There would be a way to do it, but I don't know how. You know what's crazy is I had this, see the paint's missing here, right? It's a shiny metal, and I just hit it with a little bit of paint right now, but the thing is, I had it in the vise against this leather glove. Look at this. It cut this hole. It's like a leather punch. Holy moly. There's the paint right there. That's the paint. I mean, there was serious pressure on this thing. But what up? It's in there. It surely ain't got to worry about it popping off or something. That ain't going to happen. All right. Well, shoot. I own this thing now. All right. So now we got to try to get a spring in there. I'm going to do something. I don't know. I need a spring compression tool. I actually have seen one. There is a door spring compression tool, but you know me, I don't have a lot of the right tools, so I'll figure out something to get this spring in. So I measured it in this position. It's 1.4 inches, almost inch and a half. If I open the hinge up all the way to like the door's all the way open, it's only 0.99 from tip to tip. So the easiest way to do it is obviously to close the hinge and have it in this position. But that is not going to be easy. I mean, I've got to somehow or other get that spring in there. That is quite the compression. I think this has going to have something to do with it. We'll see. What do you think my chances are? I mean, that's pretty good compression, man. I don't think this zip tie is going to hold. I'm not even filming it because, oh my God, I should film it, but I got to have two hands. And like I said, I don't do good filming, so I don't worry about tripods and crap like that. But holy crap, the idea, if it somehow magically did actually hold when I take the tension off, is to take it off, right? And set it in place right here. It's like, yep, goes over the snub and it goes over the snub inside the ends of the springs, right? And then we cut the zip tie. We'll see if I can do all that without this thing springing and going crazy right now. We'll see what happens. I am a spring setting god, I guess. Holy crap, that worked. It's holding. So now I just got to go and take my cutters and cut these zip ties. I mean, that looks like it's right. Let's cut some and see what happens. Let's cut the inside one first. Okay. Let's cut this one in the middle. Looky there. Holy. That's a little tight, but I'll get that out. That'll come out. I'll get it out. Holy crap, I got it. I can't believe it. Okay, I'll bring it back. I'll get that out. I need two hands. Okay, I think I can call this little part done. They're back installed. I didn't tighten up that last bolt back up in there. It's there, but I didn't tighten it because I just feel like I'll probably have to move it some anyway, so that's a pain in the butt to tighten them. But man, I pulled the spring, I pulled this open. I couldn't even pull this open, which means I had to compress the spring in it to open it. I couldn't even do that until I had a couple of bolts in it mounted. That mofo is tight. That is tight. I mean, tight. There ain't no wiggle in these hinges now. Look, there ain't zero, nothing. So super pumped. Good hinge rebuild. So, is it worth it? Is it worth all that work? Maybe. I think there's something to be said for reusing everything that you can reuse. But at the same time, I spent a lot of time on this. I mean, a lot. You know, between getting them off and getting them apart, which was a real pain. I mean, it's a real process to get these things apart. Doing that and then cleaning them up. That's not bad, cleaning them up, but you know, it takes a minute to do that. And then, of course, painting them and just getting them looking nice again. And then you got the last step of rebuilding it. putting it back together is not as hard as taking it apart, but it ain't easy. So, you know, the one thing I can take away from it is like they're the original hinges, which I know fit my door, fit the car, fit all that stuff. It's cool that I'm able to reuse them. They look good. And I think if I were like building this for somebody else, I'm a shop and I'm building this thing, I'm ordering new hinges. Just get some new hinges, throw them on there and be done with it, right? Figure out the adjustment. They can't be, even reproductions can't be that far off. So that's 100% what I would do. But, you know, for myself and for just, you know, a lot of this is just for the fun of the game, right? I just want to learn how to do something, you know. I've never rebuilt hinges like that. I want to learn how to do it. I know how to do it now. You know, that's a skill set that I got now. I've done some weird things, and there were some questionable ways I went about doing things. There's, you know, map gas, knocker loose, and zip ties involved, but I got it done, you know. It's cool. So yeah, for me, for your own personal enjoyment, for your own, you know, self-satisfaction, 100% rebuild the hinge. You know, that was definitely the thing to do. So for me, it was absolutely the right thing to do. Now, I got those to do over there now. That's not going to happen right now. That's a project for later. Doesn't even need to be filmed, you know. Yeah, I've got this on camera. I'm sure that's not going to go any different, so nothing. I won't need that little video diary. So it's cool. It was a cool little weekend project for me.